Hello everyone, this is Fi. We're checking out Bijet. This is a game I've not played before. We're going to give it a playtest and see if we can give some useful feedback. I've got the game page open here. Bijet is a bullet hell game inspired by Fury. Now, if I remember correctly, Fury, I didn't play this game, but I think it's like a top-down sort of hack and slash bullet hell hybrid type of thing. Yeah, so I don't know, the screenshots of this look quite different, but we'll see how it goes. There's currently a prototype to test the game's mechanics with a tutorial included. Any feedback regarding how the game feels is appreciated. Also, all graphics are placeholder. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. Currently it's in like a window. I want to see if I can maybe try Alt-Enter here. No, so I don't think I can even resize the window, unfortunately. So I guess we're just stuck in this kind of small window. If it looks a bit blurry, that's because it's being upscaled to 1080p here. That's okay. So we got a tutorial. It's nice to have a tutorial, I guess. Well, I don't know if it's more complex than your typical old school shoot 'em up or not, but it's been a while since I've played a game like this with any seriousness, so I apologize if I don't play very well. It says press enter to advance text. Now I got the gamepad, I've got my Xbox controller plugged in. I'm hoping that this works. So no, it doesn't appear to work. Alright, that's that's unfortunate. So yeah, I was really hoping to use the gamepad for bullet hell. It's so much easier. Oh, I can't put the gamepad on the. Sometimes I put the gamepad on top of my drawing tablet and it starts sending weird inputs to the computer. Okay, I'll try enter basics. Move around using the arrow keys. Oh my gosh, the arrow keys. Right, it's been a while since I used those. As opposed to like WASD, right? When you're close enough to an enemy, a ring will surround both of you. We'll call this being in range. Interesting. You can shoot by holding Z. Note that both you and an enemy can only shoot when you're in range of each other. Once the ring appears, you aren't able to break out until the enemy is killed. Interesting, I see. When multiple enemies are in range, you can move around freely, as long as you are in range of at least one of them. In other words, you can disengage some enemies, but never all of them. Circle around both enemies to try this. Also, you automatically shoot. I can already move. You automatically shoot at all of the enemies in range simultaneously. Evading. Okay, so it's alright, so it's giving me a lot of text, but it doesn't like wait for me to do any actions to actually learn what it's saying. So it might be nice. I know with particularly with early builds, it's hard to have like a really robust tutorial and everything, but it would be nice to have the game kind of tell you something to do and then kind of wait for you to do it before giving you the next bit of text here. But yeah, this is going to take some getting used to. So one thing that I'm noticing is the amount of inertia on the movement. Typically bullet hell and shoot 'em up games have like actually zero inertia on the movement, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out here. It actually, oh my gosh. It's been so long since I played a game like this with the arrow keys. It feels really unnatural to me at the moment. Unfortunately, I really wish the gamepad was working. That would have been so much nicer. But also, you could use WASD. I've been using that more lately, so that would be nice to have that option to use WASD and then maybe like JKL or just some other buttons for the other input buttons there. But we'll have to try and get used to this. But yeah, I'm kind of not sure about the inertia. We'll see how that goes, but I'm gonna be keeping an eye on that. When shooting by holding Z, you'll move slower. This can help you squeeze through enemy attacks more precisely. Here I'm attacking. Oh wow! I suddenly. Wait a minute. Okay, I think your movement is different when you're not in range of the enemy. I can't really tell. So okay, it's a little weird. To get a sense of like how fast you're moving, the background, of course, has this sort of parallax effect. It's also kind of, I guess, scaling on its own a little bit. So without the context of something relative to you, it's a little hard to see your relative motion, I guess. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's the enemies moving. There's times when it like suddenly feels like maybe I speed up in a weird way or something. I'm not really sure what's going on there. But yeah. Oh, all right, he's dead. So every time I try to, I think the enemies are speeding up to get in range of me here. But like every time I try to play with the what it's talking about with the movement while you're holding the shoot button, the enemy just dies so quick that I can't really get much of a sense of it. And I guess I don't know if there's just infinite enemies like this, but the camera keeps kind of shifting around a little bit. Not sure if that would be a problem, like if there's some really crazy bullets on the screen. If this camera is just kind of suddenly jerking around a little bit, like it doesn't seem anything dramatic right now, but I'm just wondering like how complex the bullets are going to get and everything, if that's going to be problematic. I think you still have inertia while you're holding Z. That was one of the things I wanted to figure out. Or maybe not. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of inertia. It might just be really small or something. I don't know. It might be worth just getting rid of it altogether. I really don't like inertia in these kinds of games, because basically what you're doing is you're just taking precision away from the player and their movement. Even though there's not a lot of it here, it's definitely nice to just not have to deal with that, because you just simply get more precise as you have less inertia, so it helps a lot for weaving in between bullets and everything. But this isn't entirely a traditional shoot 'em up, of course. Oh, they're offset a little bit in how they shoot their things, so. Alright, any case, I think I want to hit enter here. You can ghost by pressing X. Small window of invulnerability. I'll just do that as much as I want, but interesting. It's a little hard to see. There's not a lot of visual feedback. It just, your character goes sort of transparent very briefly. But like when you're moving around and stuff, especially because my my monitor is kind of ghosty as it is. It's an unintentional pun, but the effect is not that obvious, so maybe you can make that a little clearer. It seems like that would be pretty hard to use, but depends on what it is that you're trying to dodge through, I suppose. Enter. Oh, okay, so there's the dash. Guess you could do both. Feels pretty awkward to do this with a keyboard. I don't think I'm gonna be able to handle these complex controls with the keyboard very well. I really need a gamepad to do this kind of thing. The bars at the top represent their cooldowns. Try spamming to understand how they work. Okay, so there are cooldowns. So this has, all right. It's pretty forgiving though. Yeah, so I tend to worry about this kind of thing, but I feel like this, I mean, my very first impression, it feels like it's made in a forgiving way, so it's not going to punish you for using it, but it's going to punish you if you really try to abuse it. Okay, so this is just kind of visualizing the cooldown of this thing. Bursting. You can burst by holding D. Wow, there's more buttons. Okay. This allows you to move very quickly for a short period of time. Oh, I took a hit there instead of... Alright, so you might want to oh gosh, I have to start it all over. You might want to turn off damage in the tutorial here so I can actually experiment with stuff instead of having to do this. Oh, hello. Where did that guy come from? So, this being a shoot 'em up, I guess the other thing I should talk about is I don't know where... Oh, there's enemies to the left? Yeah, it's hard to see the motion. You might benefit even from just like putting some little movement, like air movement lines or something to show the movement when there's nothing around you. and you're just kind of up in empty space here. But yeah, so what I was going to mention is I don't know where the collider is on my guy. Just kind of one of those big things where if you're weaving between like these really tightly packed bullets, it's hard to not be sure what you can get away with, I guess, if you don't have any idea of where the collider is. I'm also like I'm always concerned about like a lot of people tend to make the collider on the player character too big, so you can't like fit between a lot of things. They try to make it um, sometimes people make it like actually bigger than the sprite itself, which is really bad, but also sometimes people try to like really match it up, and I always encourage people to make it nice and small, even if it's like significantly smaller than the actual sprite. It just makes the whole like weaving between bullet gameplay just works so much better. But in this case, I actually don't know at this point where the collider is, so I'm just mentioning that. So we're talking about bursting, which was what, D? I think C is the dash, and then burst is like okay, it's a super dash, I guess. Oh wow, what the heck? So do we have another meter for that? Oh, it looks like there's a meter in the bottom left. All right. Interesting. Oh, and once the meter is out, it's just like fully gone until it. Oh, okay. So when you use it, you can't use it again until you get another. You get the meter full again. So that feels really cool. It's a little odd to me to use that in the context of like a bullet hell because there's bullets spraying everywhere. So it's like hard to imagine doing that. But also again, like the more complexity here, the less confident I feel of being able to play this with a keyboard. Like bursting consumes the bar at the bottom left. You can initiate a burst only when the bar is full. You use it to chase after enemies or swiftly circle around them. You can also use the burst to forcefully break out of the enemy range. That's interesting. This consumes extra meter. That's it for the tutorial. All right, so we got 4 buttons. Yeah, I have zero confidence in like being able to do this with any degree of skill. Bullets are pretty small from the enemies. Actually, well, I mean, part of that is just the fact that wow, that's a steady stream. Holy cow. All right. Okay. Oh, those are bigger enemies. But yeah, this is in a window. It's kind of small on the screen, so it would look a lot bigger if it was full screen. But yeah, I was a little. Oh. All right. I like this kind of thing where it like really telegraphs a lot. That's cool. I like things like that. I was a little concerned about that one enemy that shot just like a really steady stream because um, I don't know. I guess if you use like one of your maneuver things, you might be able to squeeze through that. But it was one of those things where you probably couldn't really naturally just pass through it without taking damage. So it was a little worrisome. So we got some rectangles on the left side of the screen here. I don't know what those are, the gray ones. But yeah, I mean, this is really cool. I really wish again that I had a gamepad, so I could feel like I'm kind of in control of what's going on here. But the concepts I definitely dig. So I'm not sure how much of that is just like, oh, okay, so this guy wants me to like, wait, I'm trying to hit. Wait, C doesn't even work. What is C? C's the dash. What I wanted was the X button. Okay. Yeah, I guess you're supposed to hit X to dodge. Wow, that's really hard to see. What the heck? I don't understand how you're meant to dodge that because it's not. I guess you have to press X like really early. I think I was a little off in the timing there, but when he's like practically off the screen, that's really hard to dodge that. Oops. Yeah, I'm not looking in the right spot. So yeah, that was weird. Okay, so yeah, I can understand what you're going for there with these kinds of attacks that force you to use this dodge thing. You do have to be pretty careful. So I mean, the vast majority of shoot 'em ups don't have things like that where you're kind of forced to use like a specific dodge move. Um, Usually they kind of do it in a way that you can, I guess, theoretically just use your pure movement to kind of weave around things, then you have like these other tools for other reasons. I say the vast majority. It's not like I've played the vast majority of shmups, but that's just in my personal experience, I guess. So that might not even be true for some modern shooters that maybe I've never played. But anyways, yeah, I think especially when you throw that at the player like really right off, I can imagine people being confused about that and not really understanding how they're supposed to avoid that. Although, I mean, in my case, it kind of, occurred to me that I do have a couple of these moves that can probably help with that. I'm wondering how you might be able to communicate that better to the player. That, like, you literally have to use this move in order to beat this boss. I don't know, maybe, I guess if you sort of imagine like a final version of the game, maybe it this is kind of weird for a shmup, but like that would be one of those situations where it would be good to teach something in context. So previously, like you taught in the tutorial itself, you teach the player the different buttons and they could play around with them, but like you don't actually have a need for like the some of these movement and dodge buttons, like this one that I guess it was called Ghost. You don't actually have a need for that while you're inside of the tutorial. So I guess maybe what you want to do is kind of introduce that in a context where you need to use it. So that could be well, it could be in the game proper, but I guess if you wanted to avoid tutorial elements inside the proper game, then inside the tutorial itself, you could put an enemy that has some kind of attack that resembles that, and say like use this to avoid it or whatever. But yeah, so that was. I did find that really difficult to time it right because it's the situation where I kept hitting the button and it's like I thought I was hitting it at the right time, but I was still taking damage. So it starts to get really frustrating really fast because it's like everything's happening so quickly. It really doesn't feel good when that kind of thing just starts spiraling out of control and your brain can't really you can't wrap your brain around why it's not working and that kind of thing. So maybe that might be something you want to ease the player into a bit more slowly in terms of not only how to use that mechanic, but like how demanding you're getting with it and how the timing works and everything. I've never really had a chance to face any kind of enemy that used this this ability that I have, or demands this ability that I have like this before, so I don't really understand the timings and stuff. So you could ease the player into that a little bit better. I think that would help. But in terms of why I was missing it, it might have been, it could be down to input lag. The window is really, it feels very short, but I think if you try to hit the button like right when it touches you, it's probably, like I said, it might be just down to input lag. You did it too late. So like there's a very tight timing that it's a little tricky to work out for a new player, especially because if you do it too early, then it's also not going to work. So a bit tricky, but yeah, there's something about like the distance from the guy. I feel like that made it harder because the way it's radial and like the further you are away from him, the faster the thing sweeps, kind of. I felt like maybe that was part of what was going on there, but yeah, interesting. Again, definitely would prefer a gamepad. I really don't have any. Oh my gosh, I really don't have any confidence in. Yeah, so that. Okay. Can I pause this? Is there a pause? Okay, we don't have any pause. That would be nice to have. But right before I stopped playing, there was like a moment where I tried to move out of the way of this bullet, like at the last second, but I just kind of ran into it. That honestly was just down to inertia. So Yeah, I think I would definitely encourage you to just get rid of all of the inertia on the movement. Honestly, um, for anything calling itself a bullet hell, I would not recommend having any inertia on the movement. It just makes it play better. Period, in my opinion. So that would be nice. Oh, okay. So R does restart. Oh, if I hold it down, I can see up close. It looks like I have a little Gundam guy, but yeah, again, these are placeholder graphics. All right. Yeah, very interesting mechanics. I'll try to play this somewhat properly again. Okay. So I think. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this one guy that shoots the really continuous stream. I'm not sure what to do about that. I mean, I can kill him before it kills me, but that's a pretty dangerous pattern in my opinion. It's one thing if you have like the guy that shoots the lasers. At least you have like a button that you can press to kind of dodge through it, and in theory, I could do that with the guy that shoots this really continuous stream of bullets. But once you have like one or two other enemies that are also spewing bullets at me from like random angles, it kind of takes that possibility away. So you're really kind of stuck with this idea of kind of weaving between the bullets. I would consider maybe changing out that. Why are these guys running away from me? Oh, that's not the button. I would maybe consider changing out that that one pattern that just shoots that stream like that. Just break it up just a little bit more so you could actually weave between those. But yeah, these are interesting. Oh my gosh, it's hard for me to hit the buttons here. Like reach this super dash one. Another thing I noticed is that, for instance, there's a couple of things I noticed. I wish I could pause this so I could talk. All right, more enemies are gonna come. I wonder if there's gonna be a point where I could just like stand in place for a little bit. Oh no, I'm too slow. So sometimes you really have to let off of the. Wow, that guy just appears. Wait, that's not the right button. Okay. I didn't get it the second time. Oh gosh, he threw me off with his weird timing there. Okay. Can you? I don't understand what you do when he has two of them, because I can't use this ghost thing twice in a row. So do you want me to like dash out of the way or some such? I can like. Oh my gosh. Oops. Reacting too slow because my brain doesn't have the. All right, you can kind of move along with that. My brain doesn't have the controls. All right. Well, again, that was down to the inertia, unfortunately. Like, it might sound bad to like start blaming things, but it literally just was that. Like, if I didn't have any inertia, I would have just double tapped the right button gently and would have just stopped in place. But I just kind of slid just a little bit too much. Ended up running into that. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not very good at it right now. Like, my head isn't fully wrapped around the controls, so I can't really do them without thinking about it, which means I can't react to this boss quick enough in his actions and such things. So definitely would recommend adding gamepad support immediately. That would be great, in my opinion, anyways, because that's what would make me comfortable. Apart from that, what was the other things that I wanted to talk about? Now that I've forgotten. Right. So when you take a hit, if you're holding the fire button, you take a hit, you just stop shooting, which just feels really weird because it's like you're still holding the button. And it's like, why am I not shooting? I don't know why. I don't know if that was a conscious decision on the developer's part or whatever, but I would make it so that you can keep shooting if you're holding down the button like that. Other thing I noticed. Let me just jump into the tutorial. I guess I can mess around here a little bit more. So for the dodge thing, you have to like press in a direction and then press the dodge button. I wonder what this gray thing is. it's like the beginning of the level or some such. Wait, it's the okay, it's all parallaxy. So if you have to press in that direction and then press the I guess it's a dash. I don't know. I think I said dodge before, whatever. But if you happen to press the dash button first and then the direction, it doesn't do anything. So what this can do, it's very easy if you have it in your brain that you want to kind of like press both buttons at the same time, or just, you know, like really fast. You might end up pressing the dodge before the direction input, and then it just doesn't do anything, and that feels really bad. It always feels really bad if the player tries to do an input and nothing happens. So simple way you can address that is make it so that you can press it in the opposite order and it'll still work. So if you're holding C and you press the direction, you could make it still do the dodge. Might make it a little tricky for like doing diagonals. Maybe it just doesn't work, but it would be better than the alternative in my opinion. And of course, like with a gamepad, you wouldn't have that issue with the diagonals because you don't have two different inputs in the same way, or they're not binary inputs, I guess. So that's another suggestion I would make. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get much further in this, unfortunately. I mean, I could keep playing. Should I keep playing? Maybe I should keep playing. Let's just do one more. I don't really I don't know. I like the concepts, but I don't feel, like I said, I don't feel very confident, so I don't feel like I can play and enjoy it the way I'm supposed to. Would love to, if you do implement gamepad controls, you know, give it another shot. Alright, it'd be nice to have like some of these, I know it's early, but some quality of life bits, like being able to pause the game, maybe to like hit escape and being able to leave the tutorial here, that kind of thing. Okay, that works, I guess. Alright. I will point out, I mean, I also like, I do better with action games that are kind of demanding if I'm not playtesting, because I get a lot more of my focus back, you know. Wow. Yeah, see, like when bullets start getting this tight, I'm still holding, okay, so I'm still holding the shoot button. It's not doing anything. That's kind of annoying after I get hit like that. When bullets start getting that tight, it really makes me wonder like where exactly the collider is on my player, because I don't know, again, like what I can get away with here. Yeah, but like these laser enemies, I really like those and how they kind of mix things up, and it's in a way that's like very avoidable, but it also like adds a lot of tension and everything. I'm like literally itching my nose because I didn't think that guy was gonna do anything. Sorry about that. And I'm here like talking and stuff, but yeah, it's kind of cool. And I guess you're supposed to kind of chase these guys down because they seem to try to avoid you to some degree. Oh, okay. Well, I wonder if you get two guys in your range, but one's kind of behind the other, do you just like shoot one guy twice as fast? Do the bullets collide like that? I'm not really sure about that. I'm kind of curious. Wait, okay. I'm forgetting which button is which, especially sometimes I press one and I can't really see anything happening. Like the ghost thing is kind of hard to see, and the dash, sometimes it doesn't work again if I press the buttons in the wrong order or whatever. I wonder why he has different colored shots. That's interesting. Oh wow, okay. My brain just didn't put those bullet trajectories together quick enough. Okay, what are the buttons here? Oh my gosh. Oh, and he can dodge my attacks. That's interesting. I mean, he stands still long enough to take damage, but it's really hard to reach for that like super boost thing. Like I can tell that's really useful here. Oh, wait, what? I feel like I went through one of those when maybe I wasn't supposed to. I don't think I hit the ghost button. I think I just hit like the super boost button. And like I didn't take damage. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, so this feels like if I had a better handle on the controls, I think this would be a lot of fun. I definitely appreciate the extra maneuvers and stuff that you can do here. And also, all right, so I just died, unfortunately. But yeah, so I didn't mention this before, but the fact that it auto aims for you is pretty cool, because that means, of course, that you can focus on all the other kind of skills and things that you have, the maneuverability and everything. So I think that's a really good idea. Again, I'm not sure how much of this was just lifted straight off of Fury. I didn't play that game, but seems to work really well, and the concept seems really strong. So yeah, I really like this one. Uh, would love to play it in the future if you get gamepad and everything else. So um, pretty cool. I'm sorry I didn't get further in the game. I'm not sure how much more game there is, but I'll go ahead and wrap this up. And let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.